The story is really about, in my opinion, and at least how the director actually really pitched it to me at the beginning, was really about how people, overcome a really great obstacle and doing it by having, working with people from around the world, because it was such an international effort. And in the end, they did it because everybody came together to basically help these children. I just really liked how open he is and how much he understands and values authenticity and how much he values performances and how much he values like good dialogue. We've made a lot of changes sometimes to the dialogue, and sometimes he said, hey Raymond, if you want to suggest the change to this speech, go ahead. I'll take a look at it and see if I like it. And sometimes he says, yeah, good, I like this, and we just go with it. And that's rare, and I think it's just really, he's just a very generous person in terms of his patience and also his ability to determine. But at the same time, he also is not somebody who would just say yes to everything. And that's what I like about him. He would, he'll make up his mind. And, sometimes he'll just say, no, I think this is fine. And I'll accept it because, it makes sense. He was really open to a lot of these suggestions, and the cast kind of grew more and more, and we felt that it was really important. And Ron has been honestly really fantastic in trying to make sure that things are right. Even if it's just a minor character, like for example, we have our monk, Kruba Bunchum. We insisted on that they're able to do real chants, and then Ron agreed. And all of these little things, we've always had this dialogue about how do we make it as accurate as possible. And since we started, he's been really, really fantastic in terms of being very sensitive about Thai culture, about Thai caste, about who can do what. And I think the script evolved tremendously with his help to make sure that these things are represented correctly. And I think that so far so great, because I think it's been fantastic because not only are they good in their roles, but they've kind of formed a little bit of a family. So all the actors know each other very well, and they've been doing we've been also doing dinners with them, like the whole group, and they're just cooking for each other. And I think that it's just been a real family kind of feeling during the shooting of the film. And of course, not everybody has scenes all the time. So then they're able to kind of go off into their own little groups to do different things. And I think it's been fantastic for them. And also, the communication also with actors such as, Viggo and Colin and Joe have been really fantastic. They've been really great, very encouraging, and vice versa. So I think the cast have been fantastic. I really like everybody, and everybody has gotten along super well. So that's one of the things that I'm really, really happy about. So the character of Narongsak was interesting because we were trying to find somebody that reminded us of Paul Giamatti, because watching the real governor, he had this charisma about him, but he's also kind of quirky and is kind of unusual, especially in Thailand, because he was somebody who was almost comical, but not really. And he had a little bit of this charm about him. So we were thinking about that. And, Ron and I were talking about it and said, yeah, if we could find a Thai Paul Giamatti. And I remember going, oh my gosh, that's going to be nearly impossible, because that's a very specific thing. And I can't think offhand of who would have this kind of charisma, until we met, Pu Sajak. And, during his casting, he 100% had that kind of feel to him. And he's been fantastic, honestly. He's been doing a really great job. He's been nailing every take that he does. And he has that charisma about him. The coach is an interesting character because the main person, the real coach in real life, he is very empathetic, really, really sweet, and feels a lot of this burden of, and responsibility for having basically taken the kids into the cave. And so what Ron really wanted was somebody who was able to be empathetic and who would be able to really have a range of emotions, from happiness, because of course at the beginning when they're, haven't gone to the cave, he's this, guy who, is like, who loves kids and who's, like a leader that everybody looks up to. But in the cave, he has to feel this guilt, this sense of, responsibility, and there's a range of emotions that he has to go to. So it was a little tricky to actually find the right character. And we did, audition a number of them. And James stood out. It's because he's just a terrific actor. Some of the first scenes we shot were all with the kids in Chamber 9. And even all the actors, Ron, everyone have been super impressed with them, that how professional they've been and how good they've been. And these are kids who've never acted before. And the Australian kids were the same, they were like, when they had to, go into these diving gears and then have to actually go underwater, they're so fearless. And it's just incredible. We're like, wow, they're just so professional. And we're just really happy that they are, they've done such a great job. And moreover, they've all become really good friends. I just hope that audiences are moved by the story, by the courage of the many people who are working on the, in the rescue, not only just divers, but some of the decisions that, Thai officials have to make, some of the things that, people really have to risk in order to basically make this, really impossible feat happen, including the Thai Navy SEAL who lost his life. There's just so many things that, I hope that people are touched by and can feel hopeful that, the world is moving ahead and we can look forward to better things to come.